How do you really get a handle on the progress of a nation with over 1 billion people? Sometimes the best way isn't to look at decades of history, but to zoom in really, really close. We're about to piece together a puzzle of India's future, and we're going to do it using the events of just 1 week in October 2025.
I mean, seriously, what can 7 days possibly tell us about a country that massive and that complex? Well, as we're about to see, a single week can be like a lens. It can bring into focus the major currents that are shaping the future, everything from tech and defense to energy and social change.
All right, so we're zooming in on the second week of October 2025. We're going to look at a few different events that, at first glance, have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But I promise you, by connecting these dots, we're going to uncover the big themes driving India forward.
First up, let's talk about connection. This is all about India's huge ambition to weave its billion-plus citizens into a single digital fabric. We're talking about simplifying everything from your daily commute to big national policies. So picture this. On October 8th, something pretty cool launched in Mumbai called the Mumbai One app. This is a huge deal for convenience. It's a single QR-based digital ticket for 11 different kinds of transport. We're talking metro, local trains, the whole shebang. No more digging around for different tickets, just one app to get around one of the busiest cities on the planet.
But here's the thing. This app isn't just about making life easier in Mumbai. It's actually the very first real-world taste of a much bigger national idea called One Nation, One Mobility. The goal? To eventually have this kind of seamless experience all across the country.
So at the exact same time that commuters in Mumbai are trying out this new app, the country's biggest brains in tech and government are all gathering in New Delhi. They're at the India Mobile Congress, which is Asia's largest tech event. This is the place where those grand national visions like One Nation, One Mobility are actually born and figured out. And the message from the very top? It couldn't have been clearer. In his opening speech, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that digital connectivity is no longer a privilege. That right there is a fundamental shift in thinking. It's basically treating internet access like a basic utility, just like water or electricity. Okay, so this drive for digital connection runs parallel to another massive theme from that very same week, self-reliance. But this time, we're shifting from the digital world to the physical world, specifically to national defense and energy. In the defense world, it was a busy week. The Indian Navy and the Coast Guard brought 2 brand new, homegrown ships into service, an anti-submarine warship called INS Androth, and a fast patrol vessel, the ICGS Akshar. These aren't just ships, they are real, tangible symbols of the Make in India initiative, that national push to design and build critical technology right at home. This number really says it all. Over 80%. That's how much of the anti-submarine warship INS Androth was made with indigenous content, from the steel it's built with to the systems inside. It's a direct measurement of India's growing ability to make its own advanced defense gear. So let's break down what these 2 vessels actually do. The INS Androth is a specialized submarine hunter. The ICGS Akshar, whose name, by the way, means indestructible, is built for speed and patrols. So different jobs, but they share the most important thing. They were both proudly built in India. It's a real showcase of growing self-sufficiency. And this push for independence doesn't just stop at the coastline. It goes straight to the power grid. Think about it. Securing your borders and securing your energy supply, they're really 2 sides of the same coin when it comes to national strength. And wow, the energy news this week was massive. A new report came out showing record-breaking growth in clean energy for the first half of 2025. I mean, just look at this chart. Power from solar jumped by a huge 17 terawatt hours, and wind was up by almost 11. Okay, so those are big numbers, but what does it actually mean for the planet? Well, it means this: a reduction of 24 million tons of CO2 emissions from the power sector, and that's in just 6 months. This isn't some far-off goal. It's a real, measurable impact on the country's carbon footprint right now. All right, so we've talked tech, we've talked hardware. For a final theme, let's bring it all back to the people. Because this same week was also about celebrating the nation's cultural and social fabric, honoring the past while really empowering the future. So you had this really interesting mix going on. On one hand, India is engaging with the highest levels of global culture, and at the same time, it's turning inward to reinforce this core message of national unity for its own people. On October 9th, the big news in the literary world was, of course, the Nobel Prize. Now, while the award went to a Hungarian author, this is the kind of global cultural moment that's followed really closely in India. It's a reminder of the international stage where India's own artists and thinkers are competing. Meanwhile, back in India, a really important campaign kicked off in Punjab, the Sardar at 150 Unity March. It was launched to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Sardar Patel, one of the key architects of modern India. The goals were super clear: honor his legacy and get young people excited about the ideas of unity and nation-building he stood for. And to cap off the week, we land on a day with global significance, October 11th, the International Day of the Girl Child. This is a day that really focuses the world's attention on the rights, education, and empowerment of girls everywhere. You know, this day didn't just appear out of nowhere. It came out of decades of work, was officially started by the UN back in 2011, and was first celebrated in 2012. The fact that it's still such a focus in 2025 shows this is an enduring global commitment, one that's definitely reflected in India's own focus on its future. All right, we've gone from transport apps to warships, from energy grids to unity marches. So, what's the big picture here? Let's put all the pieces of the puzzle together. When you step back and look at that 1 week, 3 really powerful stories come through. First, there's a relentless push to connect everything and everyone digitally. Second, a huge commitment to strategic independence in defense and in energy. And third, a strong social focus on unity, heritage, and empowering the next generation, especially girls. You see, these aren't just random, separate events. They're all connected threads, weaving together the story of modern India, a nation that's building, connecting, and securing itself, all at the same time. And that just leaves us with one final, fascinating question. If this much can happen in a single week, what on earth will the next year bring?